Today we're taking a look at these MLB matches, which are happening on Saturday, September 3, 2022, and giving you our match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes, let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. Multiple plans are available for each and every one of you. You can get 30 extra betting picks all the way up to 360 extra betting picks per month. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting picks that ends up costing you a lot of money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks. Going back to our video, we will give you 2 betting picks for each game, a team pick and a total pick based on facts and detailed explanation. So make sure to watch our videos till the end so you don't miss any of our picks. Troy vs Ole Miss. Well, a lot of big names are gone from the Ole Miss team that reached the Sugar Bowl last season. This is still a dangerous squad as Kiffin brought in a ton of talent through the transfer portal. Troy has been stagnant in 3 years since Neil Brown left, and the Trojans won't have enough firepower to keep up with the quick strike Ole Miss offense. The Rebels averaged a healthy 6 yards per play despite taking on a brutal SEC schedule in 2021, and while it might not quite match Lou's levels again with Matt Corral off to the NFL, there's still a ton of upside here. Dart, who seems likely to be the starting quarterback, showed a lot of talent at USC and will now benefit from better coaching. Evans averaged a healthy 7 yards per carry at TCU, and the wideout room is loaded with talent. Troy's offense has a lot of work to do after ranking 108th in the nation with a 4.8 yards per play mark, and the Trojans managed only 14 points in their lone matchup against a power conference foe in a loss to South Carolina. Ole Miss is the far better team and will have no trouble overwhelming Troy here. Our team pick is Ole Miss minus 21.5 points. If there is one thing for certain, points will be put on the board. If Ole Miss's cohesion is unsettled, Troy should be allowed to put some points on the board. The Rebels' offense should not be slowed as Troy gave up 32 points per game in their losses last season. The over is 4-0 in the Rebels' last 4 games against Sun Belt competition. This game should follow suit. Our total pick is over 57.5 points. BYU vs South Florida. There's no doubt that the Bulls have struggled over the last few years, and while coming away with the upset win could be a challenge, they will surprise some and keep things close. Over the last handful of years, BYU has grown as a national brand and national contender, with the hope that they can turn some heads again in 2022. A daunting schedule could make things tough, and even though US might not present the most trouble, traveling all the way to Florida could prove to be troublesome. A bowl game loss to UAB left a sour taste last season, but with games against Baylor and Oregon looming next, starting things off with a bang against the Bulls is key. Kalani Sittek has established consistency, and after going 10-3 last season, the blueprint is there to find success. The main reason is the addition of Bohannon at quarterback. As one of the most experienced players in the portal last season, his dual threat ability should breathe some life into this offense. Beyond that, it was clear US had the blueprint last season to make things interesting, while BYU having trouble across the country in the opener at that could lead to some rust early. Additionally, according to Covers.com, BYU is 0-4 ATS in their last 4 road games, while US is 4-0 ATS in their last 4 home games. Our team pick is USF plus 12. BYU already has an effective and efficient offense to build on from last year. USF added new proven skill players at receiver and quarterback, but are missing their cog in the backfield Joyner Jr. If US goes down early in this game, they will resort to airing the ball out. Jeff Scott needs to make some changes because in 2 years at US, he is 3-18. He will need to adapt on the fly almost immediately. For a team that ranked in the top 40 in college football in rushes per game last season, 40.1 game, 34th in CFB, they will miss Kelly Joyner Jr. who is recovering from a foot injury. He will most likely be out until October, and for a team that relies so heavily on the run game, will be asking a lot from their younger backs. I expect a few big plays for scores in this game in response to a BYU offensive onslaught, and am confident that points will be aplenty in this game. Neither side has a particularly stout defense. Texas State vs Nevada. This line opened at minus 8.5 for the Wolfpack and has dropped all the way down to a half a point as the game approaches. Don't be fooled by Nevada's opening day win at New Mexico State. NMSU is awful, and the Wolfpack won the game despite being outgained on the night and holding a significant turnover edge, 5-0. With such a turnover edge, this game should have been far more one-sided. The Nevada Wolfpack went, though a tumultuous offseason to say the least. Former head coach Jay Norvell left the program and headed to Colorado State and took several key pieces with him via the transfer portal. Ken Wilson, a former assistant at Nevada for over 20 years, has been brought in to take over the program and make this difficult transition as smooth as possible. Wilson comes in after serving as linebacker coach at Washington State and then Oregon, two high-profile programs. Wilson takes over a team that may have the least returning starters in all of the country and certainly in the Sun Belt Conference. With all that to worry about, the Wolfpack traveled to New Mexico State and pulled off a 23-12 win to open the season. The reason the game was as close as it ended up being was shoddy quarterback play from both Illingsworth and Cox. Both quarterbacks completed just 7 passes and neither distinguished themselves enough to earn the starting job exclusively. The defense took advantage of a bad offense, and they should be credited for that, but don't expect a 5-turnover edge this week. I fully expect the Bobcats to utilize the experience and skill of new quarterback Hatcher to move the ball through the air and create frequent scoring opportunities. The Texas State Bobcats averaged 194 yards passing last season, but will focus more on the passing game in 2022. Arkansas State transfer Lane Hatcher will start at quarterback for the Bobcats. Hatcher will have some competition as Dylan Markiewicz transferred from Syracuse and Ty Evans returns after last season transferring from North Carolina State. Hatcher's top target will be Javen Banks, who last season had 553 yards receiving and 5 touchdowns. Texas State's running game produced 149 yards per game last season, and its leading rusher Calvin Hill returns after last season gaining 696 yards. Nevada had 257 yards of total offense. The Wolfpack struggled through the air as Nevada gained only 78 yards passing. Quarterback Shane Illingworth threw for 51 yards. On the ground, Nevada gained 179 yards with To'Atall leading the way with 109 yards. Devont Lee rushed for 61 yards and also had 2 touchdowns. Therese Mack caught 4 passes for 40 yards. The Nevada Wolfpack opened its regular season last Saturday by defeating the New Mexico State Aggies 23-12. Nevada gave up 303 yards of total offense to the Aggies, but was able to force 5 New Mexico State turnovers, which in reality was the difference in the game. Nevada's weak point on defense was against the run as the Wolfpack allowed New Mexico State to gain 218 yards on the ground while allowing just 85 yards through the air. As presently constituted, Nevada is not prepared to compete with a high-powered offense. Hatcher and Texas State will get off and running on the road in this game and pull off a mild upset against one of the most inexperienced teams in college football. Our team pick is Texas State plus 0.5 points. The total has finished over in 5 of the last 7 games that Texas State has played on field turf. The total has also finished over in 7 of the last 10 games that Nevada has played at home and in 9 of the last 13 games overall for the Wolfpack. The defense for both teams is not expected to be their strong suit, and that will produce a high-scoring game that will finish over the total. Our total pick is over 56.5 points.